Don't you start. Hi everybody, welcome to my latest Paul McCartney album review. Now, I guess I'm gonna move the cat in a second. Now, I guess next up would have been Give My Regards to Broad Street, which I've never owned, thank God. And there are the following albums that I just can't review because I have no interest in them. So after Tug of War in 1982, I never bought another Paul McCartney album until 2007 when I bought Memory Almost Full. And I loved that album so much, I went back to Flaming Pie, released in 1997. So, from 1982 to 2007, which is 82, 92, 102, 25 years. For 25 years, I basically ignored Paul McCartney's music. Except for, of course, the older solo albums and, of course, the Beatles. And to be truthfully honest, the last Paul McCartney or Wings album that I totally loved was back in 1978. So from 1978's London Town to Memory Almost Full is almost 30 years. I would just, for this video, I would just love to hear from the Paul McCartney fans out there, or non-fans, what you think about these years when I think he was really struggling. Give My Regards to Broad Street, him redoing the Beatles songs like Eleanor Rigby, and it was just, no. And the least said about the movie, the better. Press to Play. I did like the song Press when it came out. There was a video for it and all that. It was okay. It wasn't a bad song. But I've tried listening to the album and it's just such an 80s production, and I don't feel the songs are that good. He did the Russian album, which I've honestly never really heard too much of, but I think it would be the one album or CD that I would like to get. Flowers in the Dirt, which I do have on CD. I tried listening to it again last night, and I just can't. I'm sorry. My Brave Face is a pretty good song, co-written by Elvis Costello. And speaking of Elvis Costello, I've gotten right back into him. I used to be a huge fan of his in the 70s. I'm finally starting to get all of his old albums, remastered versions. He's one of my favorite 70s, early 80s artists. Now back to what's his name. I apologize that there's going to be a few albums of Paul McCartney's I'm not going to review because I just can't, I don't have the patience, even if I had all of these CDs, I don't have the patience to listen to it because I have no interest in it. I've tried listening to some of these albums and they just don't do anything for me. But like I said, Paul McCartney came back in such a big way with Flaming Pie. I think maybe him working with Elvis Costello helped. And maybe Linda McCartney's death, unfortunately, helped in some way. I don't know. But I would just love your opinions on the years I'm talking about with the albums. Give My Regards to Broad Street, Press to Play, the Russian album, Flowers in the Dirt, and Off the Ground, which I don't think I mentioned. I tried listening to Off the Ground. It's just no interest. So that's it. And so next, my next album review will be for Flaming Pie. We'll get back to the good stuff. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Do you have anything to say?